Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your pain, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome back to another episode of Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I am here with Robbie. Bobby, what's up, dude?
What's going on, Mario? Another week is upon us. We are 1 hour away from kickoff, and I'm ready to get that taste of week 2 out of my mouth. I don't know about you, but I'm excited for some football tonight.
I am too.
And we got just one game?
Just one tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
Two on Monday. It's getting to the point where I'm just always itching for football. I mean, I always am, but right now it's just like some of these days, like Wednesdays. Wednesdays are rough. At least Tuesdays, you know, you get the excitement of like seeing your team updated, seeing the new standings, all of these sort of like after starting to play around with some trades.
Yeah, waivers and getting stuff ready. Yeah.
Wednesdays are rough. There's no
Wednesday's
football
the day
on.
where you're just like, I got nothing to do besides set my lineup, but I already did that on Tuesday. So
you're getting early practice reports. Like, yeah, sometimes I set my lineup like the Sunday after, like I'm already hitting week 3. Like, all right, let's get these. Dude. So I've been itching. I'm ready for tonight. Super ready for tonight. And this game's probably going to be terrible.
You're itching because of that beard, dude. You got to trim that.
It looks red. I have a wedding this weekend, so it probably will get trimmed. Yeah, we'll probably get trimmed. What do we got today, Rob? We got some must start, must sits. We're kind of calling out some of the players that we're a little bit higher and lower on.
Mm-hmm.
We got our DFS lineups.
What's up, Albert?
What's up, Albert? Did you want to play some trivia? I have them open.
If you'd like to.
I have them open. We have the time.
We do have the time. Why not? Let's play a quick game.
You want to kick off with Weddle?
Let's play a quick game of Weddle.
You don't want to do
dude.
You don't want to try the grid again?
Let's do the grid.
We could do both. I think we have time for both.
All right, let's start with grid.
Let's crush Weddle. Let's see how long Weddle takes.
Okay.
And then we'll go grid. Let me zoom this in.
I've been playing grid by myself. Just like randomly when I got nothing to do. It's so much fun.
Who do you want to start with? We talked about a guy pre-show. Should we start with him?
Who?
Oh, Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
See where this takes us.
I don't think he'll be the guy, but sure.
All right. So we got the age right. So 27, and everything else is wrong. So NFC, not the position.
How old is CMC?
Shorter. I was thinking James Conner. So I mean, we're on the same lines here.
I think Connor's older
than 27.
I think so.
All right, we'll go CMC then. Same division, so God bless it. This is too easy, Weddle. 2 guesses?
Let's go.
2?
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. It's kind of ridiculous, though. Like, I don't know.
2 weeks in a row, we go 1. We go 2 weeks in a row. We hit it on the first one and then the second.
My goodness. All right. See, now we can go to grid game where we'll definitely get destroyed.
This is going to take a while.
Yeah, it could. All right. I haven't looked at this at all. 200 receiving yards in one game since 1990. We got the Bears. Go ahead. Yeah. Duh. Oh
Easy.
yeah, so easy for everyone.
Why don't
except for me.
you click off the guesses?
What do you mean?
Go down. Hit that infinity button.
Oh, we're gonna be here forever, Robert.
Well, we could stop when we have to, but
70 rush and receiving yards in one game. So he had both 70 rushing and receiving.
Edgerrin James.
You think Edgerrin did that?
Yeah.
All right. Nailed it. You're
Yes,
on a roll. Have you already played today?
No, but I'm feeling confident.
All right.
I'm feeling confident.
You must be.
Let's see. Tennessee. 70-70. I mean, Derrick Henry is the only thing that's coming to mind, right?
Oh, Derrick Henry.
Or
for
how
sure,
about
right? No,
No,
let's go Derrick
hold
Henry. He's
on.
definitely had 70.
Okay.
Whew.
I was gonna
Made me a little
say
nervous at the end.
DeMarco Murray. But
Who would have 200 receiving yards in one game and also 70 rushing yards? Like that's
it'd have to be a
That's
really
tough.
big, it'd be a receiver that had a massive run at some point.
like, is Calvin Johnson worth a guess here?
We should have saved Tyreek for there.
Probably. Can you not
That's
put
the no, you can't do multiple. That was the
So think about all the guys that have had 200 receiving yards. Well, let's go back up here. Let's
go.
slow
Yeah,
roll.
let's come back to that. We'll come back to that.
200 receiving yards. Brandon Marshall?
Sure. It's a good guess.
I mean, can you think of another one? I mean, Alshon is a possibility.
I was gonna say Alshon, but go with Marshall.
Nice.
Nice.
Bears and
Tennessee. These are the ones that are hard.
This
the
can
two
get a little
teams.
tough. It gets a little tough.
Kansas City, Tennessee. Colts to Kansas City. That should be an easy one. You would think, right? There's got to be a big name.
It is tough. It's tough. I'm
yeah.
just like staring at this in like a blank face because I'm so just Colts in Kansas City. I don't know.
There's going to be somebody that smacks us in the face.
Jamal Charles for who though? He was on Kansas City.
Was he on 10?
I don't remember. I was about to say I don't remember him going to another team at all, actually, but he did at the end. Let's take a Calvin Johnson guess here, just for fun.
It's going to be a lot of defensive players.
Oh, on the thing. Well, it's not Calvin Johnson there.
Oh, that was a good guess.
I mean, I was just trying to think of like who has a ton of receiving yards in games, and Calvin obviously comes to mind.
Was Roy Hall or not Roy Hall? Who was the punt returner?
D'Angelo Hall.
Was he on the Colts?
He was definitely on Washington. He was on a lot of teams though.
He was on Kansas City for sure.
All right, you want to try him?
Yeah.
Might have to call it here because we're terrible.
We're
at this
struggling.
game.
It's a lot of defensive players.
Bears and Tennessee. There's probably simple ones that we're just not thinking of though, like something like Chris Moore or something, or David Moore. These.
Oh, Rex Grossman was on Bears. Try Rex Grossman, Bears, Tennessee.
Did he go to Tennessee? I think I remembered him on Tennessee.
Okay, let's call it for now. We don't want these people waiting on us.
All right. Well, that's for later. So let's go through some news here.
Yeah, some daily news. Waddle is unlikely to play this week. What's your expectations for this offense with Waddle being out?
Who do they have, Rob?
Nobody good.
It isn't. It's like Denver, right? Denver, I'm
I
pretty
think you're
sure.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Denver's defense been real bad. You just don't know. I don't know who the number 2 is quite yet here. So there's a lot of smoke, and I'm never going to say this, guys.
Would you play the number 2?
I mean, out of super desperation, but no, probably not.
No.
I think you kind of obviously it's going to be a Tyreek day. Does Devon Achane get in more involved finally? Maybe if Waddle doesn't play.
This bumps up Mostert for me, especially against Denver's defense. They haven't been that good against the run. They just gave up a big day this past weekend. So I think this helps Mostert. Maybe the tight ends, Smythe, he could be an interesting play in DFS lineups. So it sucks for Waddle, and hopefully it's not a long-term issue. It's a concussion. So hopefully, I mean, he was running around from what I saw in practice. So hopefully he'll be back next week, but not a good start to the week.
And it's a carousel after that, right? There's Braxton Berrios, Craig Kraft. I love the Eric Zukanama. I think they like to try to put him in a Debo role. Cedric Wilson, you just don't know who will be in the Waddle.
Well, I was mad when he went there, to be honest, because I had some Cedric Wilson love. I was hoping he was going to go to a place where he'd get some playing time, but I don't trust any of them, to be honest with you. Christian Watson, a do not participate after practicing yesterday. What do you think?
Apparently, they're saying this was a planned DNP. Now, in any case, you definitely don't like to see a did not participate in practice after a limited one, after a full, whatever it may be. You don't want to see a guy go from practice to not practicing at all. That's exactly what I have seen. It was a part of the plan. They're saying he went a little bit high intensity yesterday, and they always wanted to push him a little bit further yesterday, take the day off. Most likely we'll see another limited. You would want to see a full on Friday, but I think we'll see a limited tomorrow.
Yeah. So something to monitor. It's definitely Tiff's saying he will play Sunday. So it could be the coming out party for Christian Watson.
Green Bay sources.
Great. So go throw some trade offers for Christian Watson. Maybe people saw the DNP and you might be able to snag him away. Trevon Diggs tore his ACL.
Was that confirmed?
Yes.
They confirmed it.
Out for the season.
I guess things happen a little bit quicker on a weekday compared to a Sunday. Man, that's tough. That is tough. Changes a lot of things. It changes a lot of things. Gilmore becomes the number 1 cornerback. It really opens up their secondary to get exposed. I'm going to talk about some benefits here, and I don't mean to. It opens up this offense a little bit more. And you look at me and you maybe think, oh, that sounds a little bit ridiculous. But their defense has been so good that their offense hasn't had to produce. And it's been killing your DAC shares. It's been killing your CD's been fine. Tony Pollard's been good. But all of these guys probably see a little boost up from this. And I know that sounds terrible, but that's the situation.
I think you're right. I'm interested to see
that line's still going to be beast. Though.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. The defense of the front 7 is so good that it can make up for Diggs missing this season. I don't think it's not great. Up.
Yeah,
it's not great. I'll give you that. But the third cornerback on that team, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's leading the league in picks or something like that. I'd have to dig a little deeper because it caught me off guard, kind of setting this slide up, but definitely something to note and keep an eye on this week. Albert's got a question: with Waddle unlikely to play, are you starting George Pickens or Nico Collins full PPR?
Oh man, that's a good problem to have. Wow. I mean, they're right. George Pickens goes against Las Vegas, Nico Collins against Jacksonville.
I'm going Nico.
I think I go Pickens, but that's because Robbie just hates Pickens still. But Nico's been great. I think I go Pickens. He's. I think there's more upside with Pickens. I do. I know Nico just went 140. I have Nico in my list. I think I have him in. I don't have him in my start list. He might. He might not. No, I don't think he's on my DFS this week. But I don't expect a bad game from Nico. I actually think the Houston-Jacksonville game is going to be a shootout. But Las Vegas defense has not been good. And I think Pickens and Kenny Pickett need to get on this roll and start going together because Pickett's not been looking good. All right, I'm rambling enough.
Yeah, I'm going Nico. Bryce Young is going to miss this week. I don't know. But the whole offense is going to be rough. I don't know how you play any
it's going to be better. It's going to be better.
With Andy Dalton in there?
Yeah, I think it actually is going to be better for fantasy.
Interesting.
I don't think he gives that much of a chance to win. I think Bryce Young probably gives him comparative. Bryce Young has not been hitting his receivers. He has not looked great.
You might be onto something. Plug your Jonathan Mingos in.
I little sneak peek here is I have Adam Thielen in my DFS.
Interesting. Very interesting. So that's why he says it's better. Stingley is out. Stingley is out with a hammy. It's going to be it seems like a long term. They put him on the IR.
Possibly. I thought, unless it confirmed and I didn't see it.
Yeah. So fantasy wise, this just makes anyone playing against Houston up their receivers dramatically for me. Stingley's good. So this is a big blow to that defense. And then Amon-Ra is back at practice.
That's a good sign.
Very good sign.
Limited?
You want to keep?
I bet it was limited, right?
It was limited, but it's good to see. You want to take note tomorrow. Make sure he is a full. If he's full, he's guns a-blazing, so don't panic. But if he's limited again, it's something you're going to have to keep an eye on leading up to the game. I think that's it. Oh, nope. Devonta Smith pops up on the IR.
I hate this
injury report with a hammy.
That
came out of nowhere.
Hate it.
Mm-hmm. So again, something we need to keep an eye on moving forward into the week. Not great because he was absolutely killing it. He was producing great. So that's not great news, but keep an eye on it close to game. Hopefully he plays. No one really knows how severe it is. So
it's a Monday game, makes it a lot tougher.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay has been better than expected on defense. It makes me bump up Dallas Goedert for the week.
Mm-hmm.
If he misses.
For sure.
But it's going to be tough because it's a Monday night game.
Yeah, it's not great. Not great. We're getting into DFS. You want to do our start sits?
Let's get our start sits probably, right?
Sure. Let's do start sits. You want to go?
All right. It's up to you. Do you want to go first?
Sure. I'll go first. Quarterback. My QB start this week is Kirk Cousins. You're probably starting him if you got him, but there were a lot of questions. I mean, he was a backup to, Justin Fields. A lot of those. We had a couple of those last night. So I'm starting Kirk Cousins over players like that. The Chargers gave up 250 yards and a touchdown to Tannehill, who last week I was saying doesn't deserve to be in the NFL. And then he gave up that monster week to Tua the week prior. So this defense is prone to giving up monster weeks to the quarterback position. And I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a day.
Yeah, this is, I mean, the Chargers defense has been miserable. There's too many skilled players on that defense to be this bad. Mm-hmm. I was watching Inside the NFL and they were talking about how Staley has to give up that play calling. It's just not working. Staley is not working for this defense and it's costing them games.
Yes, it is. And,
but I think Kirk is locked and loaded in your lineup right now with the amount that they throw.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm playing him. QB sit this week. Tiff, you're going to hate it. Jordan Love this week for me is a sit. And I know you got that as well, Mario, so you can dive a little bit deeper if you'd like. But I also have Sam Howell going against the Buffalo defense. I do not love the matchup there. I think they've been playing pretty well against the quarterback position. So Sam Howell he's a deeper play, but if you're considering him and somebody else, I'd go with the other person.
Well, I do also have Jordan Love on my sit. New Orleans defense has looked pretty stinking good. Honestly, you look at fantasy wise, and New Orleans offense has been great for you. If you have Chris Olave, if you have even Rashid Shaheed, Michael Thomas, they've all played well through 2 weeks. But New Orleans defense is what's keeping these guys in games. I mean, the offense hasn't been necessarily scoring that much. No. They've been both 2 low games. So Jordan Love versus New Orleans scares me. With C-Watt, it's helpful.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good test, but like I would think that we're not full locked into Jordan Love, set it and forget it yet. But we're getting there. We're getting there, Kev. The other benches that I also had, Mac Jones versus Jets, for obvious reasons. It's also going to be a rainy game. I guess a terrible storm coming in. And Danny Dimes tonight. If you have Danny Dimes going tonight, I think I would be a little bit scared to start him against San Francisco.
Yes. Yeah. The floor is there for Danny Dimes, though, just with the rushing. Like, I think he'll be okay. I'm not anticipating. I
think without Barkley. Scary.
Yeah. It's going to be, talk about a test. Talk about a test. This will be a good test to see where we really stand on Danny Dimes after these past 2 weeks.
My QB start is kind of surprising one for me. I'm going Matt Stafford against Cincy. They just allowed Lamar 240 yards, 2 TDs on them. They're struggling. The Rams are on fire. It's kind of one of those things where they are in Cincy. That makes me a little bit more hesitant. But no, I think Matthew Stafford has a great week this week. I think this offense is starting to find identity that we haven't seen in over a year. So I mean, I'm plugging them in if I need to. If I have Jordan Love, if I have Danny Dimes, I'd probably start Matthew Stafford over Mac Jones. Like weak QBs, but yeah, I like Matthew Stafford this weekend.
Yeah, and again, Jordan Love. Like I think he's going to take that step, like you've been talking about. Like he'll get there just this week with the matchup. Like you said, the Saints have been killing it. It's going to be a tough go. We'll see. I mean, hopefully Aaron Jones comes back though, so that'll help.
Ooh.
He practiced today, so that would definitely help out Jordan Love. Running back starts for me. Raheem Mostert, I already talked about him. No Waddle in this one, so I think they're going to lean a little bit more on the run game. He looked awesome last week. We know what he did against a good Pats defense, where he went, I think, 80-some yards, 2 touchdowns. On limited 18 carries. So 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, 18 carries. He looked good, and he's going up against the Denver defense. We just talked about it. They got tortured by Brian Robinson. Actually, Brian Robinson's the guy. He put up 87, 2 touchdowns on 18 carries.
Mostert had like 130 last week.
Yeah, Mostert
and 2 touchdowns.
So if Brian Robinson did that against this defense, I think Raheem Mostert is going to do something similar, if not better, with Waddle being out.
He's easily in your top 20 RBs this week. Yeah. You ready for mine? Mine's gross. It's a start.
Let's hear it.
Did you want to go to your sit first?
Yeah, let me do my sit. I'll do it.
Okay.
Actually, no, go. I'll go. James, I'll let you do yours. I'll skip that.
Okay.
Because he's in mine as well. James Conner against Dallas. He's been pretty decent. I think RB 15 and RB 18 or so. So he's been playable for you, but I think against Dallas, he'll finish outside the top 24, closer to that 30, RB 30. I just don't think this is going to be a good Arizona game this week.
There's some tough matchups for the RBs, like the on the bubble RBs, I guess you want to say it. Like, but then there's on the flip side, the elite or the high powered RBs have some juicy matchups.
Yes, they do.
One of the guys that I'm excited for, nervous, I am giving Alexander Madison one more shot. I know it sounds crazy. One more start against an underperforming defense. He has something to prove. He got death threats. He got racism calls. He got not replaced. He has a new RB in town. He has a whole lot that he wants to just give everybody the middle finger to, and I'm ready to see it. And his defense it can't allow it.
I'm just saying, do it now before Cam Akers takes the backfield. They're going to use him.
Cam Akers is going to take it. There's also and I get it because it's like a 6 versus a 7, or it's like they technically get Cam Akers, and I don't know if this is actual, but everybody on Twitter was saying because Cam Akers, the incentive is like, if he doesn't get 500 yards, then they don't have to give the conditional pick or something like that. So they essentially get him for free. They don't have to do the swap anymore. If he doesn't get 500 yards.
Is this his last
scrimmage yards
year?
Yeah.
On the deal. So then what's the point? Why trade for him then? Wasn't it a flip of picks? It was like a flip of
it is, but it's
six rounders.
It's conditional if he hits the 500 scrimmage yards.
Well, I guess if they are true, if they lose this week and they're truly going to tank for Caleb and trade Kirk away.
Yeah, that's what Gronk is saying. I still don't see that though.
I mean, we'll see.
They're not worse than the Bears.
If they trade Kirk away, they are.
Maybe there's still JJ on there.
Yeah, but who's even the backup quarterback?
I don't know. Jarrett something. RB sit, which you have this one as well, because we will refuse all year unless they are just a dominating person. Jerome Ford versus Titans. Look, we're both Browns fans. We both watched that game. We saw the explosion. We saw the 70-yard run. You guys got burned. I don't want to say everybody, but if you started Kelly last week, you got what you deserved because we were advocating. Our intern posted a tweet and said, bench Joshua Kelly. If you didn't listen to the intern, that's on you.
Yep. I think me and Mario were the two really touting sit Kelly. It was me and Norton on Sunday, and we were doing a lot of start sits, and Kelly was in there quite a bit.
I'm sure. And he was probably saying, go Kelly. I hope you were saying no Kelly.
I was saying no Kelly. I was saying no Kelly. He was that player I was going against. It was me, and every time is Norton playing him, I would sit him.
I'm very mid on him this week, but it's a good matchup for him this week, Joshua Kelly.
Yes, I may have him in my DFS. Mid.
Oh, God bless it. He's a plotter. I'm going to cut you off here because I got to flow right into this wide receiver, and I'll do my start sit before you. Starting Zay Flowers, the young joystick, as Willie calls him, the rookie. They play a terrible Indy secondary. They were torched by Nico for, I think it was 140 and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Dell put up 70 and a touchdown against them. Calvin Ridley the week before, 107 and 1. Zay Jones in that same week, 5 for 55, 1 touchdown. Like, this secondary is just getting torched. And I wanted to make sure that I showed you, like, we could start 2 wide receivers on this Baltimore offense and probably
put that up.
Yeah, you probably would be beneficial. Like, you probably want to start Zay Flowers, maybe Odell if you want to get Rashad Bateman. Yeah, I don't know, but Zay Flowers. Last week was the best Christian Kirk buy window that we probably will get in a really long time. Yeah. And it might have been the best Zay Jones sell window.
He got hurt.
Robbie was in.
Let's be fair. Zay got hurt. So now we need to see how this is going to shake out when Zay's back. It's the thing. Me and Norton were talking about this.
It's going to flip quite a bit.
Yeah, that's what me and Norton were talking about this yesterday, where it could be a situation where it's Calvin Ridley is the alpha in that room, and then week to week it's going to be Kirk one week, Zay the next. It could just bop around.
I think it's more based on defensive coverage than we would like to talk about. Because give me 1 second as I try to pull a tweet here. Against man, Christian Kirk dominates against man coverage. KC played the 8th highest rate of man coverage, so they went to Kirk a lot. Like, if it's zone, though, it might bounce to those outsides versus Kirk.
Yeah, no, it's something to take note of and keep an eye on it, because that seems it could definitely be that. And then you're also going to have your Evan Ingram weeks too, right? So
he's been consistent, steady Eddie so far.
He's been steady, but not great. He's getting 18% of the targets on that offense, which is good. But I think there'll be boom weeks, right? If Calvin's getting his, and then if somebody else has a boom week, like it's just there's 3 mouths to feed and one's already being fed. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so many balls to go around.
My wide receivers sit on this week, and this one pains me. Everybody would know that this one pains me. I think I'm sitting Garrett Wilson. And look, if Garrett Wilson had Aaron Rodgers, I don't make this move, right? Like Garrett Wilson is a stud, but with Zach Wilson, he is not a automatic start versus matchups. He's not to me. To mention bad weather. We have bad weather. We have Zach Wilson and we have Belichick. And Belichick is going to make Zach Wilson see ghosts after this week.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand it. But it's like, who are you playing over him?
I have a couple of situations. Like Puka is a guy that I'm playing over him.
Oh, okay.
I'd play George Pickens.
Who are the other two receivers you have? Like you have to bump. So if Garrett's is going to be, he's your wide receiver 1 on your team, more than likely. Right. So you got to bump him down past your other 2 receivers.
Do you go Nico Collins or
you're starting Zach, Nico over Garrett?
I probably would this week.
It would take some stones to pull that trigger.
I love Garrett with you. I
get it. I'm just saying to bench a receiver like that, it takes some stones, and it could pay off.
It's bad weather too. That helps me make that. I know, and it could burn me. Honestly, this is the moves that I used to make a lot last year. Still kind of do. This one doesn't feel as locked in as those moves, though. That's in my thought. Bad weather, combine that with Belichick against the Jets, combine that with Zach Wilson. I feel like I would probably rather go Nico this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying. It takes a big set.
You want to do a bet, Garrett versus Nico this week?
I'll take the bet. I mean,
all right. You're not even excited for it, though.
I'm not excited because I don't think it's going to be a good game for Garrett. But I'm just saying, it's like one of those players where you're like, just riding with it. At
some points, you got to just make some of these moves, though. Like Zach Wilson, I can't necessarily just ride with Zach Wilson for 17 weeks.
I get it. I understand. I'm not. Hey, I'm just saying it's a. Theoretically, what you're saying makes a ton of sense. It makes a ton of sense. But it's just like, is
he going to break off another 70-yard touchdown and I'm going to be just sad? Possibly.
It's a big boy move to pull that off.
But two catches on 8 targets was like the actual game he had wasn't amazing. It was that big breakaway run.
Yeah, I get it. He does those. But my wide receiver start for this week, Jordan Addison. Same reasons for Kirk. He is solidifying himself as a true weapon in this offense. I'm saying Kirk's going to have a big week, so I think Addison's going to come along for the ride. I'm all in on him this week. I think if you got him, you play him.
Yeah, I mean, he's in my DFS lineup.
I don't hate it.
I'm in on it too.
Yep.
He's looked like one of the better rookie wide receivers this year.
He's looking really good.
And he's the one that's utilized. Obviously, Puka. I mean, then it's Addison and there's Zay Flowers. Like those are the 3 right now that are getting used.
Yeah. And I think Addison's going to have a big day this week. Wide receiver sit for me this week, DeAndre Hopkins, going up against the Browns. I've said it. I think this secondary and this defense as a whole is one of the best in the league. So I'm not touching DeAndre Hopkins, and I don't, unless you have a wide receiver that can break a massive 70-yard touchdown on a broken coverage, which I just don't think DeAndre Hopkins has that breakaway speed anymore. I don't think he's going to have too much success against this defense.
Yeah. He's getting to a point where it's hard to start him. I mean, going to Tennessee made it really tough for fantasy owners.
Week 1, after I saw that week 1 game, he was my go try to trade if you can.
Yeah. Yeah, he's it's going to be a long year with D Hop. You want to hit your tight ends for us?
Sure. My tight end start, your guy, some Jake Ferguson this week against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cards gave up 6 receptions, 76 yards to Waller last week. And in week 1,
is that 8 targets?
I'm sorry, 6 receptions, 76 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was reading your notes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
throwing me off a little bit. And then they gave up 4 receptions for 43 to Logan Thomas the week prior. It seems like the Cowboys
He had 8
are
targets. Logan Thomas.
Logan Thomas had 8 targets.
Yeah.
But it seems like the Cowboys are making an effort to get the tight end involved, especially in the end zone. So I think, I'm not expecting a monster day, but I think he's going to have a really nice day. And with the tight end landscape the way it is right now, I think he's going to produce top 12 this week.
Yeah, this is a more long-term note, but I starting to have my concerns that Jake Ferguson is just a placeholder for Schoonmaker to get healthy.
I don't hate it, but I think if we're just talking solely this week, I think he's going to have a nice day.
Yeah.
And then my tight end sit again, Kyle Pitts. Until something changed. The more disheartening thing of last week, watching week 2, they threw the ball, and they threw the ball successfully, and Pitts still didn't do anything. That's what makes it even more concerning for me is when they throw the ball, it didn't go to Pitts. So I'm still out on him right now. And then another one, somebody that I've been talking about a little bit more, Zach Ertz. He's been killing it lately. He's leading the team in targets, maybe receptions as well. I didn't look that one up, but he's having a really nice start to the season. I think he's going to be good for the rest of the year, the way they're using him. It's just this week against Dallas, not in love with the matchup. He might be someone that you guys picked up and thinking about starting, but I would look somewhere else if you can for this week. But I think he's going to be a nice play moving forward.
I believe they are peppering him to ship him, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe they're just doing whatever they want.
I think it's just Dobbs. I think it's just how he plays. He's gonna target the tight end. It's a safety blanket right now. It's him and Marquise Brown, right? That's the offense. And they're honestly, they haven't looked as bad as we all thought they were going to. And in large part, it's because of Zach Ertz helping this offense move the ball a little bit more than we thought.
My tight end start is actually a guy that you're benching. And it's going to be painful for me to say. But I think this is a Kyle Pitts week. I think it is. Detroit weak against the tight end. They have a banged up defense. They lost 2 guys over the last week, CJ Gardner Johnson, and then there was I want to say it was an interior defensive lineman that they lost. I think if I saw the name, I would be like,
Houston.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They went down 2 guys. I think this defense is starting to get a little bit weaker, but I think Atlanta is still going to find themselves down in this game. And I get it. They were down in a lot of that Green Bay game until the last 10 minutes, but I think we might see a Kyle Pitts day. He's my start.
Okay. I guess that's the bet.
Yeah. 11 points. Is that good enough?
Sure. You might have just sold yourself, my friend.
I think 11 points is good for a top 12, sure. Right?
Let's do that. Top 12. I can't.
Top 12.
Yeah,
you can. Yeah, you can. You said bench him.
5 points. It could be 5 points with this.
But he's top 12.
Sure. I'll do top 12.
All right, nice. My tight end sit is, I don't know if Tiff is still watching, Luke Musgraves. Scary against New Orleans.
We're really coming at the Green Bay Packers today.
Just this week. But here's the thing. Remember, this New Orleans defense ain't all that different. I mean, they added a ton of pieces, but at the core of who they are, they still have Jordan Cameron. They still have, what's the safety's name? I can't think of the safety's name right now, but they're still this was a defense that we were always scared to start tight ends against.
Matthew.
I don't think they have Tyrann Mathieu, do they?
Yeah, they do.
I am sitting Luke Musgrave this week. I'm scared to take a tight end against against the Saints. Yeah,
they were and we talked about it. We've been talking about Tennessee's rush defense, right? How me knew that was our team. we faded every running back against Tennessee last season, and it's carried over to this season. The tight end position, we faded against New Orleans every week last year. We didn't touch that team, and it's carrying over a little bit into this season. So, and I think, Mario, check that. I'm 99.9% sure Tyrann Mathieu's there, and that's a big reason why tight ends have trouble against this defense. Like, it's hard for them to just move the ball in general, but the tight end position especially, they struggle against the New Orleans Saints.
We got benched.
Oh no.
Yeah, and we've seen it through 2 weeks already. I mean, the Saints played. Did they play the Titans in week 1? I mean, Hayden Hurst was 3 for 30 against them. They haven't seen an elite tight end, and we can't call Musgrave an elite tight end. He's very much borderline a start anyways, but I would just kind of fade him this week. I have an option where I had Greg Dulcich and Isaiah Likely. And I can't bench him.
Luke. Don't talk about Luke in bad.
Oh, no. Pickens versus DJ Moore, PPR at flex.
Get this loop thing under control.
This
is how it should. It should just be this.
Oh no!
I heard nothing.
No.
Oh, there you go.
That's how it should be. But it's always on the loop.
I'm going George Pickens easily here, actually. DJ Moore, and this is not to do the Justin Fields slander or anything. Kansas City's defense has looked great. Their corners have looked good. That defensive line is putting pressure on the quarterback. Pickens is going against kind of a very below average Las Vegas defense. I'm going Pickens.
Yeah. This one's tough.
Go ahead. Take your shot, Robbie.
I'm gonna go Pickens. Yeah.
Kansas City's defense has been real nice.
It's just matchup based. I think long term DJ is going to be fine. This week though, I'm going to go with Pickens with the matchup. I think you're right. The Chiefs defense has been surprisingly great, especially against the pass. They just held Jacksonville to, 9 points. So if that continues, which it should, I don't know why it wouldn't against a worse offense.
They had Ridley locked down.
Their cornerbacks are good. Yeah. They hit some diamonds in the rough because they're all late round picks, but they're playing really well right now.
I think they're a good defensive pickup, especially this week. But let's do some DFS.
Sure.
Can you expand it all? Nice. There we go. All right. So this week, I am targeting. It's not the highest over under on the slate, but it's what I think is going to be a shootout, the Jacksonville and Houston game. This is two defenses that have not been that great. Again, Jacksonville did hold Kansas City to 17 points last week. I think that's more of a rusty Kansas City offense versus what Jacksonville could actually do, because we saw Anthony Richardson carve them up. So here we got another rookie quarterback that they're facing. I want to roll with Stroud. It's cheap, 5,300. He's throwing a ton. They'll likely be down. So, I mean, the opportunity for him to throw 45 attempts is huge. I'm pairing that up with Nico Collins, of course. Let's get his number one guy. Had a great week last week. Let's run it back against this Jacksonville defense. And I'm also bringing it back with Travis Etienne on the flip side. What's also great about this, Rob? It's our favorite running matchup. Travis Etienne going against Houston. We get our bring back. If they're up a lot, they're going to be running a lot. They're going to get him involved a lot. So that's my main slated game right there. It's only 3 guys today, but I love it. My other RB is Tony Pollard. I think against this Arizona defense, he can absolutely go crazy. As you could tell, I really spent on the RB position and the tight end, because I go 7,200 on Travis Kelce this week. He comes back to Kansas City, his first time at Kansas City this year. I think it's a huge week for him. Chicago's not great defensively at all. They might be the worst at defending every position on the offense this year. Like I said earlier in the show, Jordan Addison for 5,500. Count me in. That should be a high scoring game. I wouldn't mind if somebody targeted that game as well, obviously, for their slates. Adam Thielen is your dice roll here. We have Andy Dalton at quarterback. He's seeing Seattle, which Seattle's defense is still catching up. They're supposed to be better. Their secondary is supposed to be better. Thielen was actually really involved in this offense last week. No yardage on any of it, but he was targeted quite a bit. And I think with Andy Dalton, we'll see him targeted a little bit more. He's definitely the wide receiver one there. Here's another roll of the dice at my flex. Kendre Miller, 4,300 against this Green Bay defense. I think this is a good matchup for him, and I think Tony Jones doesn't scare me. So taking Kendre, put him in the flex, and I'm closing it out with Pat's defense against the Jets. You already heard how I feel about that defense, what I'm concerned with the weather, and I know Belichick is going to scheme up to destroy Zach Wilson.
Yeah. The only question mark for me would be Adam Thielen. I know it's a volume-based play, but I get it. I understand the concept of it. Seattle's secondary hasn't been great. CJ Stroud's interesting. It's an interesting, but I get it.
This is a risky one. This is a tournament.
This is a risky one. I should have put my risky one up.
But it's probably better that you didn't. I mean, Stroud's still going to be chalky, relatively. He's not going to be the number one guy, but he's probably in the top 6-7 picks this week. It would be my guess.
Yeah, he's gonna throw the ball quite a bit. But other than that, I love the lineup. I really do.
John Kelly. Nice.
Get down to it. Kirk Cousins, 7,800, going against the Chargers. I paired him up with my big spending Justin Jefferson, $9,700. Massive. Against the Chargers as well. And then I brought back John Kelly, $6,100.
Josh Kelly.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I tried to edit it on my end. It didn't update.
It's
live
okay.
time.
Yeah, this was a long day. And then Mike Williams, 7,200, going against Minnesota. He had a nice day last week. I think this will be another really good day for him. That Minnesota defense is atrocious. So I think they're both going to have really nice days. So that is my game of the week that I kind of picked to build my lineup around. My next running back, Javonte Williams, 6,100 against Miami. Their rush defense has not been great this year. I think that's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's the number one highest total for Vegas right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, the highest.
I thought it was actually the Chargers. But I'll double check while you're talking.
They might be two then. So I went with Javonte there to kind of round out my running back position. And then Mario, I went with you with Nico Collins, 6,900 against Jacksonville. I'm with you. I think that's going to be a higher scoring game than a lot of people are anticipating. So Nico's that number one guy there. I think he'll be involved a lot. And then Gabe Davis, he had a really nice week last week. Washington's front seven is pretty sturdy, so I think they're going to have to throw the ball to move it. James Cook is somebody I'm actively trying to not play if I can, because I think that defense is pretty stingy against the run. So Gabe Davis kind of takes a bump for me, $6,700. And then I talked about him, Jake Ferguson, 5,000 going against Arizona. I'm just anticipating at least a touchdown and some catches, so I think he sneaks in there and gets some decent points this week. Defense, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns against Tennessee. Tannehill, I don't think he's good. I think this Browns defense is going to expose him again. And the rush defense has been really, really good so far. So I think they can bottle up Derrick Henry. And if they do that, I think it's going to be a really nice day for them defensively. Offensively, I'm not going to make any predictions.
Especially with no D-Hop. I mean, like that. I love the call on the Browns. I don't even know if I looked thoroughly, if I looked at what their cost was on DraftKings. What?
Is D-Hop out?
I'm saying if he is.
Okay. I was going to say.
I doubt he is if he played through last week. I think he's just kind of being cautious, but it would be not nice. It would be good for Browns. No, so back to what you were saying. Minnesota Chargers are the highest Kansas City, Chicago is actually the second, which was a shock to me. And then third is that Denver game.
Okay.
So third
Yeah, I had a
highest.
lineup in here. I really like this lineup. That's why I put it in. I think this is going to be a very good one. But I had a lineup that was super interesting, composed around. I want to say it was the same game, Chargers, Minnesota, but a little different. And then I also had some wild cards in there. I put Godwin in from the Browns. He was kind of my riskiest play that I made this week.
Goodwin, right?
Goodwin. Yeah, that's what I said, didn't I?
Godwin.
Did I say Godwin? Yeah, no, good.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place today.
You are, dude.
It's been a long day. But yes, Goodwin. He's my risky, like real cheap play that I think could pay off. And if he hits, like it would boost your entire team massively. So he was somebody.
And it would be super low chalk there. I mean, you're talking under.
That's what I'm saying.
Probably 2%.
It was him. I think I had Kendre Miller in there. I had a couple real low plays, and then I was able to build the rest of my roster with really nice players.
I think my biggest complaint about yours is the Josh Kelly and Mike Williams. I just try to avoid it if I can. I try to avoid the running back wide receiver combo. I get it. Yeah. They both can absolutely eat. They absolutely can. But I also think your goal in DFS is like you want to maximize your opportunity to hit both of those positions. And sometimes they take away from each other. Like if this was a regular lineup, it wouldn't even be a concern. I think it's fine to have your RB and wide receiver from the same team. It's not ideal, but it's not necessarily the worst thing that could possibly happen. Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase both did very well last year. Joe Mixon and T. Higgins did well. You know what I mean? Like
I get it.
But Josh Kelly and Mike Williams, I don't know if Josh Kelly is going to be super involved in the pass, so it then becomes run plays versus Mike Williams, obviously pass plays. So it is kind of like you're trying to capture on both sides of the ball, but it pulls from each other sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
They could hit. They could both hit.
Yeah. I get what you're saying for sure. I just with the spending how it was set up, Kelly was not my first choice. I'll say that. So, but with the money that I had, I thought he was a good value where he was pegged. I didn't like the other players around him, so that's why I went with Kelly. I think he's going to have a good day. I'm not anticipating top 10 by any means, but I think he's going to put up enough points where it'll help my lineup and won't hurt me.
Yeah. Robbie, you have any last thoughts before we get into week 3?
I think I need to go have a drink maybe and
turn on the game.
Yeah, turn the game on and pass out on the couch. I think that's the kind of day that I've been having. But other than a couple of misspells and some mispronounced names, I think we're good.
Hey, we're fine. We're fine. We'll be back on Sunday. Sunday at noon. We'll be taking live start-sit questions. And we'll be answering those for you before the week. And then we're back. Then we're back on Sunday. So like week 3, gonna be good for everyone. Good eats. I have one league that I started 0-2, so I need a dub in that one. That's the one.
Yeah. I have one league as well that I'm 0-2, and I was telling Norton yesterday, it was a heartbreaker loss this week. Needed 20 from Elijah Moore and Chris Olave. And
that is tough because Olave probably got 14 of those.
Dude, I was just sitting there. I'm like, and I said, I don't want to get into it. It was
no. Elijah Moore though needs to be more involved.
I pulled DJ Moore out for Elijah last minute.
Oh no! I would have probably made the same move. It seemed like the better play. All right, so we'll be back Sunday at noon. For myself, for Robbie Bobby, we love you guys. Peace out. Gotta hit the outro. Thank you for watching our episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
If you aren't already following us on Twitter, check us out at DadBodFS.
We'll be posting all of our best clips and videos to all of our social media. TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us on there at DadBod Fantasy Squad.
Lastly, if you'd rather just listen, we make sure we post our audio of each episode on all the major streaming platforms. Stick with us all season long so together we can count our trophies and